Hi you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Shireen Warren. In this video, I'm starting the first of a 5-day series, which is going to be all about self-improvement, 5 days of self-improvement. This is the first video that I'm doing, which is all centered around self-sabotage. And the reason I'm doing these 5 videos is because I want to challenge myself to overcome these obstacles, these things, these limitations that I've put in the way of my progress before. And I'm hoping that you guys will be in the same kind of space and you want to overcome your own battles, your own challenges, so that you can become the very best version of you. This is a short challenge or something that I'm viewing as like a bigger picture. So I have this goal to completely transform my life in the next 12 months. So because this is more of a personal challenge, personal journey, it is a little bit more tailored to where I'm at in my life and what I want to focus on developing. Hopefully that resonates with you. The main 2 things that I've noticed I self-sabotage with is relationships with money and just romantic relationships full stop. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I've just come out of a really long-term relationship and I'm using this time right now to be able to focus on developing myself, and part of that means kind of like unbagging a lot of the stuff I was carrying around with me and putting new things in the bag. Unbag some of those emotions, some of the toxicity that I also was responsible for bringing into the relationship. That starts with identifying some of the issues, limitations, challenges that I've actually had and actually facing them head on, doing what I can to do the work right here, right now to overcome those issues and replacing them with new habits, better traits, better strategies. In saying that, I know that I need to take ownership and responsibility for where I was at in my relationship and where I felt I lacked in myself, and I'm taking ownership of where I am right now. And in doing that, it gives me the control and the power to be able to build a better identity, a better version of me. I really feel that this is the season that I'm actually shedding the old skin. And the 3 areas that I want to focus on in this video when it comes to overcoming self-sabotage is economical self-sabotage, so anything financial that we actually have monetary wise. The next one I want to look at is intellectual, so actually our mindset and the negative self-talk, things that we actually have going on in our minds. And then the third one is emotional, so that might be relationships that we have with other people. If you have a paper and a pen or a journal, this will be a really good exercise for you to actually get that book out, get that pen out, share it with a friend so that you guys can do it together and actually sit down and process exactly what it is that you need to kind of unbag and think about what you want to bring back in. So this is all about refreshing and replacing. So if you think about a big bag that you've been carrying around, for me, my big bag has been carried around for the last 6 years, but I'm really thinking about it being a big bag. It's not empty. Everything that you didn't like about your relationship is in there. Everything you didn't like about the version of you is in that bag as well. And we want to start taking out some of the things that we don't want. There'll be things that we want to keep, but the things that we no longer want in our identity, we're going to take them out of the bag. We're going to pick some new fresh things off the shelves and put them into our bag. So that's what it's all about. That's what we're going to do in this video today. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is self-sabotaging habits. What self-sabotaging habits have we got that we need to release in order to bring in new healthy habits for ourselves? So for me, I'll talk about money because I've had a lot of issues around keeping money, not earning money. I've been a person who has been able to be almost like a magnet to money, so money does draw to me. The issue I've had is retaining it and not spending it, or spending it in the right ways, maybe I should say. The first thing that I want to touch on is our money habits. So what kind of habits do we have right now? And this is a really hard task, but this is something I'm doing right now, is actually going through my statements. Yep, going through my bank statements with a marker pen, and I want to mark out the things that I'm just wasting money on. I'm going to be honest, I really like binge eating, and this is quite interesting because it also relates to why I am not shedding the weight where I want to shed it. Working out, I'm fine with that. I'm great with working out. It's the eating habits, because your girl likes sweet food, things to make me feel comfort, addictive behavior. So if I'm not eating, if I've not started a ritual of eating picnic chocolate bars every day, I'll say, okay, I'll drop that now. I won't eat any more picnic chocolate bars. That addiction will move on to chewing gum. So this is something else that I've picked up. I'm not even joking. There are like boxes of chewing gums that you can get, these refreshers, extra refreshers. I can blitz the whole box of that in a day. Like, it's no joke. And it's that kind of behavior that I feel is self-sabotaging, because there's a lot of sugar in those things. So really, I'm just picking up one thing and replacing it for another. So identifying where my habits are, and this is again relating to money, spending money on things that I don't need. So the first thing you need to do is actually go through your statements with a pen, mark out all the things that you don't need, total that up, and really figure out how much money you actually have that you're spending on things that you don't need, or spending on food that you really have no business buying, especially if you know you went grocery shopping and you've got food in the fridge, there's rice in the fridge, but you're still going out to go and spend money on fast food that you really don't need. And it's about being honest with where you actually are, so that we can make positive changes and good choices in the future. When it comes to emotional or relationships, I'm learning to distance myself if something doesn't feel right. So, and a toxic trait that I've had, because we're being open and honest right here, a toxic trait I have had when it comes to relationships is shutting down or closing off or giving back negative energy if I don't feel like I'm getting positive energy. There's nothing wrong with distancing yourself, but in a positive way. So something I'm doing in relationships is taking the time to nurture good relationships and pausing if I feel like the energy isn't being reciprocated. And the best way for me to do that is by distancing myself. So a lot of the time, if I felt I was getting negative energy, I would reciprocate negative energy. What that does is lower my frequency. What that does is mean I'm lowering my standards to meet someone else's standards. Someone's level of communication is lower at that point in time, and I'm lowering my standard, lowering my vibration to match theirs. So what I've started to do instead of that, as a positive habit, is instead of matching and reciprocating negative low energy, I'm keeping my energy and I'm just going to distance myself. And even before I distance myself, so it doesn't seem like I'm ghosting the person, I send a positive message so they've got a positive taste that's left of me in their mouths, which sounds really weird, I know. But I feel like that's a better thing for me to do, because I know I've left something on a good note rather than a bad one. And also just releasing the feeling of everyone owes me something, or that feeling I'm like I need to be in control of every situation. I trust the universe and I have faith in the universe that it's going to deliver the right people to me at the right time when I need them. And everyone will come back to me if they're supposed to be in my life. I don't need to feel like I need to control how people show up for me in my life. And the same for the other way around as well. If we're supposed to be in other people's lives, if you've had like an argument with someone and it feels, in the moment, it feels quite heated, you don't know if you're going to go back to the person and talk it over, friendship or relationship, you will know if you are still thinking about that person, still feeling positive feelings about that person. And we just have to remember we're only here for a moment. Like, everyone, we should appreciate every experience of the people that we have in our lives. And of course, this doesn't go for people who are abusers, who are toxic. You'll know in the moment if this is someone that is showing you a repeated offense on your behalf, or it's something that you can overcome. But what I will say is, if you keep going back to someone who is no good for you, and you're keeping that habit of that toxic cycle of like a toxic relationship, and you keep going back and forth, it's time to release that situation. It's time to release that relationship so that you can make space for the new. Because of course, why would we hold on to something that's no good for us anymore when we could be making space for someone that's amazing? And I feel like a lot of the time that comes back to the control situation, where we feel like we need this person, we got to hold on to this person, because we aren't trusting that the universe is going to send us the person that we actually are asking for. Because the person that you're asking for isn't going to keep you in a toxic cycle. The person that's meant for you isn't going to keep you in a space of doubt, uncertainty, a painful place, something that's hurting you over and over. the person who loves you and the person that's supposed to be for you is going to make sure that your peace is their priority. We have good money habits. This is actually overcoming self-sabotage, because we're breaking the cycle of spending money on things that we don't really need or don't really want, when we actually have goals for our money or goals for things that we want to attain that require money. And another thing is, even if you don't have goals, it's always great to have a fund or money in a pot somewhere so that you can dip into it anytime times get a little bit rainy. You know what I mean? Maybe those extra little bit of funds that you've been saving can go towards a holiday. Maybe it can go towards some new clothes. Treat yourself a little bit. Maybe you like to invest into stocks, into property, something that's going to stretch your money so your money can come back to you and work for you. There's so many things that you can do with that extra bit of money, instead of spending it on things that aren't going to give you any long-term gain in the future. Instead of like just dwelling on the things that are happening right now and giving you comfort right now, that money could be keeping you comfortable later on in another way, in a completely another way. When I start thinking about some of my self-sabotaging intellectual habits, I used to have a lot of negative self-talk, and I just caught myself in my sentence, because instead of claiming that I have these issues right now, I'm changing that to be in the past tense, because this is going to be something completely brand new. This is a new identity, and I'm not claiming that I have negative self-talk anymore. So it's time to release that thought. There are a lot of people that I also know that procrastinate, and for me, if I can see that someone has that trait, it really irritates me, because I am a person who's very firm in my decision making sometimes. However, sometimes our thought processes to get us there can be a negative one. I used to have a lot of self-doubt. I used to doubt myself quite a lot. I used to let money worries and these things burden my day. And instead of doing those things and waking up and being negative, and instantly, as soon as you've opened your eyes, allowing all these negative thoughts to flood your mind, we can actually kind of hit the release valve on that by waking up and focusing on 3 things in our environment in the moment that we can be grateful for. I think Jay Shetty does like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing. 5 different senses that you can experience in your moment right now. I'm gonna stick to 3, because I just think as soon as I've woken up, I'm not always thinking about, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I gotta think of all the senses. What am I touching? What am I feeling? What am I hearing? What am I tasting? A lot of the times, if we've just woken up, it's saliva that we're tasting. I don't taste that good, don't smell that good neither. So I like, as soon as I've woken up, I like to think about what can I hear, what can I see and feel right here, right now in my bed that I can be grateful for. A lot of the time it's the birds. So, you know, you can hear the birds outside chirping away. They're happy, they're singing, they got a little choir going on for you. That's beautiful. Your bed's nice and warm, it's comfortable. You've got hands, toes. I like to wiggle everything to make sure everything's still there. I'm grateful for that. My eyes, I can open my eyes and see. It's beautiful. And they're the first things that I like to give gratitude for. And starting the day like that, I'm telling you, it makes so much difference. And again, if you've watched some of my videos before, you will know that I'm very big on working out every day, doing yoga every day, and meditating every day. So the meditation is something I've just started. I like to start my day nice and early, because I feel like that's my time to myself. I have a young son, so if we're both awake, that's his time, my time is his time. Or I'm working, or I'm doing the business stuff. There's always something that requires my time. So first thing in the morning, that's time for Shireen. I'm not checking my phone, not checking anything negative. I don't know who's been trying to contact me from the night before. The time that I have to myself for about an hour, hour and a half, that time is for me before anyone else. And I'm telling you guys, whatever morning routine is best for you, this is going to transform your life. I'm telling you. I've been doing it since January. It's August now, and I feel absolutely amazing. So I definitely recommend some form of morning routine, especially like journaling. I like to journal at night time. It's actually really good. It helps me to get all my thoughts and everything out onto paper, so that when I'm going to sleep, I'm having a much more peaceful sleep. They are my self-sabotaging habits that we need to overcome. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you did, please share it with someone who would also like to watch this video. Please give it a thumbs up, because more people can then see the video. And please subscribe so that you can see more videos just like this. And thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.